A warm welcome to the most beautiful chess problems of all time. Today, we're not looking at a classic study, but rather a position that actually arose from a real game, specifically Tomaszewski versus Navarra from a rapid chess tournament in 2016, both grandmasters. And we've reached this position. It's white's move and white can win the game. And the beautiful thing about it, it's a very instructive problem about pawn endgames. Feel free to pause the video. Pause the video and think, what options does white actually have here? The move that probably jumps out at you first is f6. And yes, in this position, white has actually already given away the win. To be fair, we have to say if black thinks here, oh, a passed pawn, I can probably just capture it. Then actually, white is back in winning territory. In that case, white has been very lucky here. But if white plays f6 here, then black can of course play a bit more cleverly and say, okay, I can just hang around here with my king and say, hey, what are you actually going to do to me here? Right, because, well, what options does white have? If white captures here, it's not that great of a position, because although they successfully defend this particular pawn, the king effectively blocks it, and the crucial key squares are no longer easily accessible for white. Let's play this out concretely and see how it unfolds. So white can only advance the pawn with check here, and we'll have to settle for a draw in this position. And now you might think, I'll just push the pawn forward and this has to be a winning position. Not a chance. King to f8, and yeah, what is white supposed to do now, right? So the black king needs to have some kind of escape square, otherwise it's stalemate. So if we move to d7 here, it's just stalemate. In other words, we have to give the black king some breathing room. And yeah, what does black actually do now? Not much really. He'll just shuffle back and forth between these two squares. And yeah, white truly doesn't really have a viable winning plan in this particular position, primarily because the king simply cannot effectively get over to the other side of the board in order to launch an attack on the opposing pawn. In other words, if we want to go around this side, we can't, because this pawn is blocking the way. And if we try to get over on this side, we always end up causing stalemate at the crucial moment. So, and here that would be a stalemate. So hopefully we've successfully ruled out that f6 is not a good idea. We need to find a better move, and that better move is king to d7. We have to go for this maneuver directly. And what can black do here with his king? He can only move to g8. And what do we do now? Yeah, king to g7. We just keep pushing the king further and further. And now, be careful. Now, don't get cocky and think, king to f8, we're dominating the position so nicely here. Because that would actually be a stalemate and thus a draw, which is all we'd get. So now we play to f6 because now the king is in a much worse position. Let's take a look at that. If black moves the king back here, then we can really play f7 because our king now supports this promotion square. In other words, black will most likely have to capture here, and now we have a beautiful move which is king to f7. We, roll out the red carpet for our pawn and say, hey, you can have a passed pawn here too. I don't care about that at all. It's just way too slow. And white will easily win this game here. Did you see that f6 is actually a deceptive move and that you really have to play king to d7? Feel free to write it in the comments. I've linked another study for you here. Go ahead and click on it, and then we'll see each other in the next video.